I have a question for you. This is a live poll. So the situation is different for everybody, of course, but what would you do? Chemo or other options? It's good to be back. This is probably just going to be a quick live. Not sure yet, but um, as you can see, I'm still sporting the bald look. Hair is starting to grow back again. And so, short story is I've basically been told by my medical peoples, the main people in charge of my treatment for testicular cancer, that there is no other options, and the options I mentioned are misinformation. Dun, dun, dun. Big surprise, right? So it wasn't so much that I was surprised by my doctor's response this morning, but it was kind of the how outright his opinion was, which actually I like too, because that's part of the reason why I've liked him in the past is he's like a straight shooter, and I can handle that even if I disagree with it. But to outright say that it's just misinformation in 2025 and there are no other options that work, and he said it will not work. And I'm not going to say what the two are. One starts with an IV and another one starts with fen or men. But those were not really good answers for me. And so, just to give you all a little perspective on where I'm at, I did 2 out of the 4 weeks of my chemo treatment so far because my situation was very unique and it was a difficult decision. Um, I decided it was probably the best decision to at least start the chemo and kind of give a knockout quick punch to the tumor, and it's worked, but not without it feeling like it was almost the death of me. There's no way to describe just going from. I mean, I had pain in my leg and stuff before then, but going from basically a normal, vibrant person in their late 40s to feeling like I could have been, on my deathbed. Just so many things. I had an infection, and just yeah, I won't list everything, but hey, Irma. Um, so yeah, it's good to be with y'all for a little bit, and my lives are more random than ever nowadays, um, but maybe getting more steady. If I decide to go with the plan I've been the last week now, which is just pausing on the chemo and going my own natural and other options that I've been learning about the last couple of years. And so I'm thinking about doing that for a couple months. It's a really hard decision for so many different reasons. And so I'm not going to list all of those, but I thought I would just put it out there. I rarely ask kind of a question in the title, in the video, straight out like this, but from everything you guys have learned and experienced, talked to others about cancer and the treatments that they did, or the ones that worked, the ones that failed. What do you think you would do if you're in that position, or if you're in that position, what are you doing? Um, and it's really difficult, even with great discernment and tons of knowledge, to make these decisions in 2025 because well, there can be more than one right option, but above everything else, my main issue with chemo is everybody knows, including the doctors, that there are side effects. Short term, definitely. Long term, definitely. But we don't know what those are, and we don't know who it's going to affect, and in how many years from now, 5, 10, 20, 30. I'm planning to still be around that long. So that's kind of, I'm at a position where I can go the natural, no side effect method for a few months, even though I don't want to be waiting around and rescanning later and going through all that. But I could do that first and then go back to the chemo if I wanted to. That just makes more sense to me rather than in reverse order and just going 117% in on the chemo and side effects. And then, well, it'll probably work, get rid of it in my scenario. But if it doesn't, then try the natural, no side effect options. No, that doesn't make sense. So I kind of feel backed into a corner of my own beliefs and discernment and timing that I need to do this. I need to try it. And honestly, it goes against my normal nature in some ways because I want to get back to work. I want to do things and I'm not 100%. So I'm not going to be sort of fully operational until this thing is complete one way or another. But yet, I guess I feel willing to trust that wisdom, discernment that I believe God gave me for this time to take the best care of my body possible, even more than what current doctors and science are telling me. Um, Hi, Cindy. Thank you. God bless. Okay, Irma, take care of what you need to. Thank you. Or you're welcome as well. So yeah, it's the last couple of days have been mega beautiful out here. I think you can kind of see. I got the perfect amount of sun coming down, and that's what I need right now. And Cassie's like, "Hey, as long as I'm out of the pen, I'm free. Let's do this." So yeah, it's a nice, very nice day. So yeah, I was just wondering, what you guys would do in that situation, or if you've been in this situation before with cancer or know somebody. How did it go? Was there even a difficult decision on treatment, or did you just jump into chemo, or whoever you know? I know friends who've had chemo, and they tell me about how they're not the same anymore in their own little ways. And it's one of those things. It's my my body is not going to handle it the way somebody else's does, and so it's just a big unknown factor. I don't like even before knowing it's an unknown that could be very bad. So maybe it's kind of based on regrets. You know, would I rather regret waiting a few months, going the natural route, and trying to kick its butt that way, or would I have more regrets by just going through all the chemo and not trying the natural methods? Well, definitely, I would regret that more because I didn't give it a chance. Oh, it's freezing up. Sorry. Maybe I'll try this. Hello, everybody. Sydney G in Tennessee, Elaine Peterson and Irma. Thanks for the support and the prayers and the love. Yeah, I mean, I want to say it's a pride thing, but with all the research I've done the last couple of years, all the things we've been finding out, it's almost like I want to challenge it and see if I can do this. Not doing it on my own, because I've had plenty of support and prayers from family and all of you, but it's just, I believe that a lot of doctors have it wrong. Uh, they're just doing what they're taught. I don't idolize doctors. Yes, they're very smart. They've devoted themselves to their craft essentially more than more than most people, maybe you could say. But that doesn't mean they're lofty, high and above everyone else in brains and intelligence. Um, it does mean they spend a lot of time studying and taking tests, writing papers um, on things that they were taught. So, yeah, it's a crazy world that we live in, and I know God is using it all to put a whole lot of things together. He already has for each of us, but I really want to get back to work and making music. So for me, that's been the toughest thing. The toughest thing has been just not working the same, not working as much. Okay, Sydney, thanks for you're the first to chime in on this. I believe the natural route would be the best. It will take time, but you won't be so sick from the chemotherapy and radiation, but you pray. Amen. That's really what it comes down to. It's not a pride thing. It's really a faith thing because we've been taught our whole lives to trust the doctor, right? Trust the system, trust the medicine. We really have. And here I am all these years later in a position. It's up to me what I do with my health care, my personal care. And so now am I going to defy that system that I believed in my whole life and then go natural methods, different methods? That's a big turn, a big about face. And so it's really not about pride, it's about faith in God. And it's difficult. And as much as I've been fighting like just this whole process, the pains and the nausea and feeling horrible and all these other things, um, loss of appetite, losing 25 pounds earlier. Thankfully, I've gained, I think, at least half of that back or close to it. But going through all of that, it's also been filled with lots of tough decisions. Like every single day, I feel like I'm trying to decide one little notch further closer to what am I supposed to do in this situation, and I'm asking God for him to make it clear, and he has. And that's really the bottom line is through anything, just keep praying, ceaselessly praying, because God will give you the answer at the right time and make something clear. You may not get it all at once. You probably won't, as a matter of fact, most of the time. But you will. You will get guided along the way. And that's really what I feel I've been getting. It hasn't been easy, hasn't been quick to get the answers, but I've been getting them. Sydney G in Tennessee again. Yes, IV. That is one of the two that I've already been using. 40 days before I started the chemo, I was already doing my own regimen, not very natural and very aggressive. And as of last Monday, after I finished my second week of chemo, I went right back to it. So I'm already about 8 days back into it. And right now, I'm just not planning on stopping and just keep learning more, keep double checking what I'm doing, and if there's anything I can improve. But I'm with you, Cindy. That's it. Hi, Belinda Taylor. Welcome back. I'll do what your heart and I do what your heart and faith says. Thank you. Yeah, as a veteran, retired veteran, I'm blessed because I haven't had to pay for any of these procedures or anything. The only drawback is that I have zero coverage to go outside. So if I wanted to try some other sort of therapeutics, any other options, it would be all on me. But fortunately, the options that I'm wanting to try don't cost too much, and I'm able to afford it. So, Elaine Peterson, it's all about Jesus. Amen. Sydney says, I believe God made a cure. It's here, and they don't want us to know it. It really feels that way, doesn't it? It seems that way. And I'm going to say, yes, it is. Thanks for the support, Sydney. I appreciate it. Yeah. Hi, Adam. Okay, thanks. Neighbor walking by, sorry about that. Yeah, I really do believe I can beat it with what I already have at home. And I'd be more than willing to share my whole laundry list of things that I've accumulated and found that are good for beating cancer naturally. But this isn't really the time and place. But if I talked with you elsewhere, that would be possible. But yeah, I did feel really blessed about certain things in this situation because I was already researching so many topics since like 2020, 2021 especially. And so I've already been learning about cancer and different things and different options years before I even got the diagnosis. So that really helped because even though I hadn't decided what to do yet, what to buy, what to try, whatever, I knew about many options and I knew basically what channels to go for to go back and get the information that I needed to fill in the blanks. So shortly after I got my diagnosis, it really didn't take me too long to kind of basically write down a laundry list. Here's some of the best drinks, foods and supplements and things to try long term for a couple months. And I really do believe that first 40 days I was doing that, it only helped soften up the tumor or whatever for chemo, break it down some. But yeah, like I said, I'm at the sort of the crunch zone decision point right now. Do I go back to chemo on Monday next week? Or do I stick with this for a few months and give it a try, give it my best, and then do a new scan in a couple months and see what the results are? And it really is about faith so much because as I'm imagining these next couple months doing that, walking through that unknown, it's kind of like a little bit of walking in the lion's den, and just trusting God will see me through. So it's thanks, Irma. I'm eating and sleeping better for sure. And that has been nice. Yes, like that saying you're healthy as a horse. Yeah, all these diseases and everything comes from the devil. He's just trying to beat us down. That's really what it is, trying to beat us down, separate us from God and the love he has for us, and bring chaos and confusion, all those things, everything the opposite of God always. So yeah, faith over fear is huge. And as I already knew, getting out with nature and the Cassie is one of those things that helps me besides just the grounding. That's one of the main reasons I want to sit out here is keep my feet in contact with the ground. but just this, well, the sun too, and the fresh air. And a lot of people can't do that right now. So sorry if you're in a cold or rainy place or something. But that's why I still pay extra to live in California. We do pay for the weather out here one way or another. And so I'm using it to my benefit to help fight this thing too, by getting vitamin D and by having contact with nature, and grounding, as many have said, is also a good thing. Hi, Joy. Yeah, it's been one tough decision after another every single day going through this process, but I can't get around my conscience. I can't get around the discernment of what God has showed me the last few years regarding diseases and cancer and natural medicines, and just the fact that I do believe that God put all this stuff on this earth to help our bodies and to heal us. So it's like, how can I just deny that now at the moment of truth? It just, for me, it seems like a near impossible task. No matter how many people are telling me nothing else works, that's misinformation, you're better off to just do the chemo, it's working. Yeah, it's working. It's also doing some things to my body, as a matter of fact, that I don't want it to do. So it's decision time, ladies and gentlemen. But here I am, about a week and a half since I finished my second week, and every day I feel a little bit better and more human once again. And it's an amazing feeling. It's like coming back to life. I know it's different for everybody. Some say it wasn't that bad, and then other people are like, yeah, it sucked the life out of me. And I was one of those people. It sucked the life out of me. And then I even had some other complication things that that did make it worse. So, yep, it's been decisions every step of the way. And, but I can't not look forward to it being over, and God winning in the end, because he always does. And just every day finding something to stay grateful for in this process. Because like I said, I really do want to get back to making music as much as possible, and different kinds of music and videos. And it takes a lot of time, takes a lot of focus, energy, and it's physical too. You got to set up the studio, you got to do different things. And so there's no way around it. I really need to be 100% to be doing all that stuff I want to be doing for you guys. Sydney G says, yes, sunshine and grounding. Belinda said, so many people lose their faith going through bad things like this, but I'm so happy you're strong. Thank you. Well, one thing I realized from this experience, Belinda, is that when I get really desperate, I find that God is the only way to turn, the only place to turn to. And it doesn't mean it's easy. It doesn't mean I'm always praising and worshiping him, because trust me, I wasn't on many tough nights that I'll probably share more with you guys about as time goes on. But for me, there's just nowhere else to turn. It doesn't mean it's happy. It doesn't mean you're even confident about the next day or hour, or that he's going to answer that prayer soon for healing. It doesn't mean any of that. It's just, for me, there's no other option, because I believe in him, and I refuse to believe anything other than his plan, and that he wants the best for us ultimately. Declare daily, by Jesus' blood, you're healed and made whole. Thank you. Amen. Thanks, Cindy. I'll stay on the IV. And thanks for asking, Irma. My family and everybody's doing good. Now that I'm doing better this week off of the chemo, it's of course better for everybody too, because they're not as worried about me. I can't stand that either. As someone who's, independent and usually busy, usually, if anything, asking about others, I don't want to be the person that everybody's worried about and trying to take care of. That has been one of the hardest things for me too. I don't want to be that person. I want to be on the other end. And I know I guess I've learned some things from that the past few months, and that's what I tried to focus on, was the learning experience. But yes, I don't want to be on that side of the equation. Nobody does, really, I don't think. But I really, really, really don't. I'm reading what you said there, Belinda. We all question things. I understand. Oh, angry about your mom's death. Yeah, the devil finds different ways he finds those little pain points, or big pain points, and depression and anger and things to get in between us. And there's no simple answer, but sometimes we just need to realize that first, I guess, and then work through it from there. Yvette, love and light to me. You're in God's hands. Thank you. Nadine, hello. Go to Joe Rogan, Mel Gibson for friends, cured of stage 4 cancer now, no cancer. One of those people is his father. Don't give up. We'll pray for you and we'll put you on our church prayer list. Thank you. I appreciate being on another prayer list. All of your prayers are very much appreciated. I don't follow Joe Rogan very much, but I've probably heard all of the recommendations that's come through him, because I do watch, or I have seen plenty of other channels. And he's very popular, obviously. But yeah, I would love to just pull out my laundry list of natural supplements, medicines, and things that are basically side effect free that is on my list, and the things I would also recommend to others. I would love to read that down right now, and that would clarify some things. But I'm just going to keep rolling like this and keep it a little bit vague, I guess. But the answers, the info, it's out there for anyone who wants to look and discern for themselves. So, well, I think me and this Cassie dog, Cassie so sassy and tired, apparently. Tired as a dog. We're going to wrap this up pretty soon. But I'm glad to be back, and I'm glad to be feeling more human than I was a week ago and every day. So maybe I'll just do some live improv stuff on the piano. If you guys are not following the channel, please make sure you're liking, subscribed, you got the bell on and everything, because there's so much stuff on YouTube, as you all know. And if you appreciate this channel, if you like the music, if you like anything about it, That will really help keep boosting us. I think we're past 17,000 subscribers, which is huge. I never expected this kind of support engagement. Really, the last year or so, it blasted off. And I guess it's probably when I started doing more vlogs like this and just communicating straight up with all you guys, and lots of conversations about Pastor Bob, aka Elvis, and lots of conversations about Cassie and about going on bike rides and lots of other subjects. We talked about psychology, INFJs, that being my personality type, and so many things that I never expected to talk about on live. And you guys have fed me a lot of topics too. And we've gone around on some things with our country and the world. So, okay, Sydney, Irma, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Hope you guys all have a blessed day and take care. I will see you again soon. Bye for now.